Hey there, folks.
Allow me to regale you with a spine-tingling tale of my Disneyland visit that continues to send shivers down my spine.
I must confess, I lack the eloquence of a seasoned wordsmith, so please, bear with my humble narrative. So, picture this. My companions and I embarked on a whimsical journey to Disneyland for a day filled with laughter and joy, basking in the warm embrace of the sun. Main Street welcomed us with open arms, and we gleefully captured moments through the lens of our cameras, relishing in childlike merriment.
But then, an inexplicable turn of events sent chills racing down our spines. Our adventure led us to one of the park's iconic attractions, the majestic castle looming like a fairy tale citadel. It was during our ascent that I beheld a sight that haunts my waking hours.
While gazing out of the castle's window, my attention was ensnared by a mysterious presence, an elusive spectre concealed amidst the verdant foliage. My initial inclination was to attribute this spectral figure to a mere park attendant tending to their duties. However, the ominous silhouette, with its contorted movements and eerie demeanor, defied such a rational explanation. Aghast, I directed my companion's gaze toward the otherworldly apparition, and together, we bore witness to its unholy descent toward our very location.
Although I've always held an incredulous stance toward tales of ghosts and spirits, this encounter defied conventional wisdom.
The encroaching twilight unveiled the figure's true form, a lady, if I may call her such, with
disheveled, filth-laden tresses and a white gown, in tatters like a relic from an unhallowed past.
In our collective disquietude, we observed her approach, her eyes vacant and dilated, an abyss of nothingness that seemed to peer into the very depths of our souls. As the ride concluded, we hastened our retreat, endeavoring to place as much physical distance as possible between ourselves and this disconcerting enigma.
A last forlorn glance over my shoulder confirmed her evanescent vanishing act.
Transcendence into the very ether, as if she had never graced our presence. Our report to Disneyland personnel yielded a dismissive response, as if we had merely crossed paths with an eccentric tourist donned in period attire. Nevertheless, our convictions remained steadfast, rooted in the bone-chilling experience that left an indelible mark on our collective psyche.
Determined to salvage the remnants of our day at Disneyland, we
pressed on, albeit with a wary sense of disquiet, half convinced that some prankster was weaving an intricate web of deception.
However, an unsettling certainty gnawed at the corners of our consciousness. As the sun traversed the sky, our unsettling encounter refused to abate.
The lady in the tattered white gown, her relentless apparition, reappeared with alarming frequency, lurking in the shadows of the park, a disquieting spectre seemingly bound to our presence. Each sighting was marked by the same haunting, vacant gaze that traversed the boundaries of the corporeal world. Desperation drove us to solicit the experiences of fellow parkgoers, probing for confirmation of our surreal encounters. While most professed ignorance of our spectral visitor, the select few shared similar accounts of her spectral presence. One gentleman described an encounter within the confines of the haunted mansion, where she stood immobile within a room of mirrors, her reflection conspicuously absent.
A lady recounted a bizarre episode near the teacup ride, where the enigmatic lady sat in solitude, her gaze locked upon an unseen horizon. With each recurrence of her eerie presence, our trepidation swelled until it reached its zenith.
Our collective resolve began to waver, and we reluctantly decided to curtail our visit, our enthusiasm overridden by an overwhelming aura of dread. Yet, fate had not exhausted its cruel jest.
As we ventured toward the exit, she materialized once more, a sinister harbinger of the macabre.
This time, her stance diverged from the previous instances. She pointed cryptically toward an obscure alleyway.
Our curiosity drove us to heed her guidance, our inquisitive gazes piercing the shadows that concealed a lifeless form, the visage of a woman, pallid and bathed in a grotesque tapestry of crimson.
Our disbelief surged as we bore witness to a scene straight from the darkest recesses of a horror narrative. Panic set in, and we frantically summoned the authorities, who arrived with the urgency that such a grim tableau demanded.
Chaos reigned supreme, with the horrified onlookers bellowing their distress. We were subjected to intense police scrutiny. Our accounts of the spectral lady met with indifference.
The gruesome truth unraveled a Disneyland employee, the victim of a heinous crime perpetrated by a deranged neighbor ensnared by the clutches of drug-induced madness.
Authorities attributed the tragedy to the capricious whims of random violence, a seemingly isolated incident.
Nevertheless,
I couldn't escape the unshakable conviction that our spectral antagonist bore an insidious connection to this macabre episode.
The unexplainable events that unfolded that fateful day at Disneyland continue to torment my consciousness.
I remain incapable of rationalizing the inexplicable, wondering if we stumbled upon secrets hidden from mortal view.
And thus, dear listeners, my eerie tale reaches its disconcerting climax.
I extend my gratitude for your attentive ears, and I implore you to tread cautiously, for the world often conceals dark enigmas lurking just beyond the periphery of our understanding. Stay vigilant, and may your journeys be devoid of the inexplicable horrors that have plagued mine.